Seniors, the secret remedy to rebuild knee cartilage, fast and naturally, is finally getting the spotlight. But first, let me ask you this. Did you know that by the time you turn 60, you may have already lost over 50% of the cartilage cushioning your knees? And by 70, it's even worse. Your knees might still be carrying you, but inside the shock absorbers are thinning, drying, even cracking. That deep ache, the grinding sound, the weak legs when you first stand up, that's not just age creeping in. Here's the twist. It's not just aging. The real culprits? Chronic inflammation, poor nutrition, and years without the right kind of movement. It starts with stiffness in the morning, turns into clicking in the knees, and before long it feels like every step is a test. Your legs feel weaker, your balance shifts, and stairs feel more like mountains. Even more alarming, 4 out of 5 seniors don't even realize their cartilage is disappearing until the leg pain becomes constant or the weakness stops them from walking far. But here's the good news. Your body still has the power to repair if you give it the right tools. In this video, we'll walk through 10 natural, science-backed remedies that can help protect your joints, ease leg pain, and even help rebuild cartilage naturally. And number 1, it's a warm, soothing tea that boosts circulation and joint healing, beloved by an 82-year-old woman in my neighborhood who says it still keeps her light on her feet. Where are you tuning in from? Type your state in the comments. We always reply. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap the bell so you never miss a tip that could help your knees and your legs stay strong for years to come. Every point you'll hear in this video rests on solid scientific evidence. No speculation, no padding, only peer-reviewed studies conducted on people your age. All sources are listed in the description. Now grab your tea, settle in, and let's talk about taking your knees and your legs back, one healing habit at a time. Let's start with something warm and comforting. Bone broth. Now this may sound simple, even old-fashioned, but when it comes to your knees, your grandma's Sunday soup might have been a medical miracle in disguise. After 60, many people notice that their knees start to feel different, less flexible, more sore. And if you listen closely, yes, sometimes a little snap or grind. What's happening isn't just aging. It's the slow breakdown of cartilage. And one of the reasons? Your body stops making as much collagen, the protein that cushions your joints like a soft gel pad. That's where bone broth steps in. When you simmer beef or chicken bones for hours with a splash of apple cider vinegar, you pull out collagen, gelatin, glycine, calcium, and magnesium. The acid helps extract collagen and minerals more efficiently from the bones, making the broth richer and more therapeutic. These aren't just nutrients, they're the raw materials your joints have been begging for. A study in Current Medical Research and Opinion found that people who took collagen peptides daily had less knee pain and better mobility after just 12 weeks. Think about that, just from giving your body what it already recognizes. Here's how I like to use it. Simmer bones for 8 to 12 hours, add carrots and celery for depth, and sip a warm cup every evening. Or freeze it into cubes and use it to flavor soups. Within 2 or 3 weeks, many of my patients say they feel less stiffness in the morning, like they're moving through oil, not gravel. I'll tell you what, my grandma didn't talk about collagen, but she simmered broth like it was sacred. She lived to 97, walked every day, and her knees never once gave her trouble. Sometimes the old ways were right all along. So next time you pass by those leftover bones, don't toss them. Treat them like gold. Because when it comes to your joints, bone broth might just be liquid wisdom. Now let's move from the soup pot to something a little more golden, turmeric and black pepper. You've probably seen this combo floating around in wellness circles, but the truth is, it's far more than trendy. For aging knees, it can be a game changer. After 60, one of the biggest culprits behind joint pain isn't just wear and tear, it's inflammation. That constant low-level burning inside your joints breaks down cartilage quietly and steadily, often without you realizing it, until it's too late. But turmeric brings powerful backup. Turmeric contains a compound called curcumin, nature's answer to chronic inflammation. But here's the catch. Your body doesn't absorb curcumin very well on its own. That's where black pepper steps in. It contains piperine, which increases absorption by up to 2,000%. That's not a typo. 2,000%. In fact, a study published in Clinical Interventions in Aging found that older adults taking curcumin supplements reported significant improvements in joint function and stiffness after just 8 weeks. That's less than 2 months to feel lighter on your feet. You don't need to take a supplement, though. I recommend making golden milk. Mix half a teaspoon of turmeric with a pinch of black pepper into a warm mug of oat or almond milk. Add a sprinkle of cinnamon and a touch of honey. Sip it before bed and let your body do its quiet repair work overnight. One common mistake I've seen: people try turmeric capsules without pepper or take it inconsistently. It's the routine that makes the remedy. Personally, I've had patients who've made this their evening ritual, and they say it's like oiling a rusty hinge. Within 2 to 3 weeks, the swelling eases up, and their knees start to feel trustworthy again. So if your joints are whispering complaints, it might be time to answer with a golden cup. And hey, it tastes better than most medicines I've ever prescribed. All right, now let's talk about something tiny, but mighty: sesame seeds. You've probably seen them sprinkled on burger buns or sushi rolls, but most people don't realize they're little nutrition powerhouses, especially for aging joints. Here's what happens as we age. Our bones gradually lose calcium, and that affects our joints more than we think. But adding more calcium alone isn't enough. The real problem is absorption. Without magnesium and zinc, calcium just doesn't do its job properly. And that's where sesame seeds come in. They've got the full trio: calcium, magnesium, and zinc, all in one natural package. You see, most calcium supplements miss the mark by focusing on just one mineral. Sesame seeds offer a more balanced approach. They even come with anti-inflammatory antioxidants like sesamin and sesamol that help calm down the silent fire in your joints. In a 2013 study published in the International Journal of Rheumatic Diseases, participants with osteoarthritis who took 40 grams of ground sesame seeds daily experienced significant improvements in knee pain, stiffness, and physical function after just 2 months. That's not bad for something that fits in a teaspoon. How to use it: sprinkle 1 tablespoon of toasted and ground sesame seeds over your oatmeal, salads, or avocado toast. You can also stir 1 tablespoon of tahini, a paste made from ground sesame seeds, into your dressings or smoothies. Ground sesame is easier to digest and allows your body to absorb more minerals, especially for older adults. One tip I always give my older clients: buy pre-toasted sesame seeds and grind them fresh in a coffee grinder. It's a 30-second habit that can give you long-term relief. So next time you're thinking small, think sesame. Your joints might just thank you with a little less snap, crackle, and pop. And if you're still here with us, thank you. That already means you care about your health. If this video has helped you in any way so far, just drop a number 1 in the comments below. That's our little way of knowing you're still with us and that we're walking this journey together. And if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that button and the little bell icon. That way, you won't miss the next simple habit or small tip that could help you feel stronger, steadier, and more free day by day. Let's keep going. And now we're heading into the garden with something a little unexpected: rosehip powder. It may not be as popular as turmeric or collagen, but for joint pain, it's one of the most overlooked natural anti-inflammatories out there. For older adults, stiffness in the knees often feels worse first thing in the morning. That tight, dry, almost rusty sensation is more than discomfort. It's a signal that inflammation is lingering. Rosehip, which comes from the fruit just beneath the rose flower, is packed with vitamin C and plant-based polyphenols that help put out that fire from the inside. Now here's where it gets exciting. A European study published in the Scandinavian Journal of Rheumatology found that older adults who took a standardized rosehip extract daily experienced a 30% reduction in joint stiffness after just 3 weeks. That's not subtle. That's something you'll feel when you stand up from your recliner. To get the most out of it, use 1 to 2 teaspoons of organic, freeze-dried rosehip powder. I like it blended into smoothies with frozen berries or stirred into warm herbal tea in the morning. It's tangy, a little floral, and surprisingly refreshing. Even though rosehip is already high in vitamin C, combining it with orange juice or citrus fruits may enhance overall antioxidant synergy. One mistake I often see: folks buying sweetened rosehip tea or mixes full of sugar and fillers. Stick with plain, freeze-dried powder or capsules with minimal ingredients. That's where the real power is. Years ago, I recommended rosehip to a client who said her knees felt like rusty door hinges. 3 weeks later, she called me and said, "They still creak, but now they open without a fight." That's a win in my book. So if your mornings feel stiff and slow, maybe your knees are just waiting for a little help from nature's quiet healer. Give rosehip a try. You might just bloom with it. Now let's turn to something creamy, green, and surprisingly powerful for your joints: avocados. Yes, the same fruit that millennials love on toast can be a game changer for people over 60. Here's the thing: as we age, our joints naturally lose some of the lubrication that keeps them moving smoothly. That dryness can make cartilage wear out faster, leading to stiffness, friction, and that dreaded grinding sound when climbing stairs or getting out of the car. Avocados help counter this, naturally. They're rich in monounsaturated fats, vitamin E, and lutein. These nutrients help reduce inflammation, protect joint tissue, and act almost like a natural oil for your knees. Lutein, in particular, has been shown in studies to support cartilage integrity and reduce markers of oxidative stress. Compared to something like butter or processed oils, avocados offer healthy fats without the downside. Pairing avocado with tomatoes or eggs can boost the absorption of its antioxidant carotenoids, an extra joint-protecting bonus. That's because fat helps your body absorb certain vitamins more effectively, especially lutein and beta-carotene. How should you eat it? Try half an avocado 3 to 4 times a week. Mash it on whole grain toast, blend it into a smoothie with banana and spinach, or dice it into a salad with cherry tomatoes and olive oil. It's versatile, satisfying, and joint-friendly. One mistake I often see: folks avoiding avocados because they think it's too fatty. But here's the truth: healthy fat is essential for joint health. It supports hormone production, cellular repair, and the absorption of fat-soluble vitamins like A, D, E, and K. It's processed junk fats you want to avoid, not nature's butter. One of my clients, a 74-year-old man, started adding avocado to his eggs every morning. After 4 weeks, he looked at me and said, "I'm walking the dog again, and it doesn't feel like punishment anymore." So if your knees feel a little rusty, try adding this green gem to your plate, because sometimes the best lube for your joints comes from a fruit with a big pit and a whole lot of promise. Now let's glide into something your joints will absolutely thank you for: omega-3 fatty acids. Think of them as nature's joint lubricant. They don't just reduce pain, they actually help restore how your joints move and feel. Here's why this matters. As we age, the fluid that keeps our joints cushioned and smooth starts to dry up. The result? Creaking, stiffness, and reduced flexibility. Add in chronic inflammation, which accelerates cartilage wear, and things go downhill fast. But omega-3s step in like a firefighter for that internal inflammation. Found in fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, sardines, and anchovies, omega-3s, especially EPA and DHA, have been shown to reduce the production of inflammatory compounds that damage cartilage. In fact, a 2016 review published in Nutrients highlighted how omega-3s not only reduce joint pain, but also slowed the progression of arthritis in older adults. Here's how to make it work for you. Aim for 2 servings of fatty fish per week, about 4 ounces each. If you're not a fan of seafood, a high-quality fish oil or algae-based supplement with 1,000 milligrams of combined EPA and DHA daily is a smart alternative. For better absorption, try pairing omega-3s with leafy greens like spinach or kale, or just add a squeeze of lemon. Healthy fats help absorb key vitamins like K and D, which support joint and bone strength too. A mistake I often see: people grabbing bargain brand fish oil that's poorly absorbed or causes fish burps. Go with a reputable brand that's molecularly distilled and enteric coated. Your stomach and your knees will thank you. A Vietnam vet I work with in Arizona started grilling salmon once a week and taking omega-3 soft gels. After just 4 weeks, he told me, "Doc, I can get up from my chair without using my hands." That's not just progress, That's freedom. So if your joints are begging for a little extra glide, try adding omega-3s to your plate. Who knew something so slippery could help you move so smoothly? Next, let's revisit an old favorite that's quietly making a comeback: gelatin. Yes, the same ingredient you may remember from wobbly desserts at church picnics. But what most people don't realize is that gelatin is actually a joint healing gem, especially as we age. Here's the science in plain English. Gelatin is essentially pre-cooked collagen. That makes it easier for your body to digest and turn into the building blocks that repair cartilage, cushion joints, and support your ligaments. As we get older, our natural collagen production drops, and with that comes stiffness, reduced flexibility, and those noisy knees when you stand up. Gelatin helps fill the gap. What's even more fascinating is how effective it becomes when paired with vitamin C. A study from the University of California found that taking gelatin with vitamin C about 60 minutes before light exercise significantly boosted collagen synthesis in tendons and ligaments. That's key, because joints don't just need fuel, they need a little movement to activate the rebuild. Here's how I recommend using it. Stir 1 to 2 teaspoons of unflavored gelatin into warm herbal tea or orange juice. For a fun twist, make homemade gummies by mixing gelatin with 100% fruit juice and a touch of honey. Chill until firm. Kids and grandkids love them too. You might notice easier movement in just 10 to 14 days, especially in the morning. And here's a quick tip from my kitchen. Don't boil gelatin. It ruins its structure. Always add it to warm, not hot liquid. One woman in my walking group told me she started making gelatin gummies every Sunday. By week 3, her knees were cracking less, and she was walking an extra block just to show off. So next time someone offers you Jell-O, smile and say, "Only if it's doctor approved." Because this isn't just dessert anymore. It's collagen in a cup, and your knees will love you for it. Let's turn to something humble, green, and often underestimated: leafy greens. Think kale, spinach, collard greens, and especially broccoli. These aren't just sides on your dinner plate. They're some of the most powerful foods for protecting aging joints. Why does this matter after 60? Well, cartilage doesn't live in isolation. It depends on strong bones, healthy connective tissue, and reduced inflammation, all areas where leafy greens shine. They're rich in vitamin K, which helps regulate calcium in the bones, and sulforaphane, a powerful plant compound found especially in broccoli, shown to slow cartilage degradation. According to research from the University of East Anglia in the UK, sulforaphane may block an enzyme that damages cartilage and osteoarthritis. That's like putting a security guard at your joint's front door. Here's how to make it work for you. Aim for at least 1 cup of cooked greens daily. Lightly saute kale with olive oil and garlic, steam broccoli and top it with lemon juice, or blend spinach into a smoothie with almond milk and banana. Tip: adding a healthy fat like olive oil helps your body absorb fat-soluble vitamins like K and A. One mistake I see: overcooking greens until they're mushy and lifeless. Light steaming preserves more nutrients and keeps things tasty. A friend of mine, 78 years old, started eating sautéed spinach with eggs for breakfast every other day. After about 3 weeks, she said her knees felt less noisy, and she could finally kneel during church without wincing. So the next time you're planning a meal, give your greens the starring role. They may not be flashy, but they're quietly rebuilding your joints with every forkful. Now that's a leafy legacy worth growing. Now let's sweeten things up a bit, because sometimes the best medicine really does taste like dessert. I'm talking about red berries, strawberries, cherries, blueberries, raspberries. These vibrant little fruits may look delicate, but they're absolute powerhouses when it comes to protecting your joints. Here's why it matters. After 60, many folks notice their joints feel stiff, swollen, or warm to the touch, especially in the knees. That's inflammation at work. But red berries are packed with anthocyanins, the natural pigments that give them their rich color. These compounds act like microscopic firefighters, reducing inflammation and helping prevent the slow breakdown of cartilage. A study out of Boston University found that older adults who consumed strawberries 3 times a week had significantly lower C-reactive protein, CRP levels, which is a major marker of chronic joint inflammation. And lower CRP often means less stiffness, better range of motion, and fewer ouch moments when getting up from a chair. 1 cup a day is all it takes. Fresh or frozen, both work beautifully. Toss them on oatmeal, swirl them into Greek yogurt, or blend with banana and spinach for a smoothie that's as healing as it is delicious. Pairing berries with a spoonful of flaxseed or chia can add even more anti-inflammatory punch. One pitfall? Relying on fruit juices or store-bought berry snacks, which are often loaded with added sugars. Stick to the real thing, whole berries, whole benefits. I call it the berry breakfast, a daily ritual I recommend to nearly every senior I coach. One woman told me she hasn't missed a morning in 6 months. Her knees? A little creaky, she said, but no longer cranky. So if you're looking for something sweet that loves your joints back, scoop up a handful of berries. Nature's pain-fighting candy has never been so delicious or so smart. And now we've reached #1 on our list, an old friend in a warm mug, ginger tea. It's not just a cozy comfort drink. For aging joints, ginger may be one of the most powerful, overlooked tools for healing. You see, as we get older, circulation tends to slow down. That means cartilage, which already struggles to regenerate on its own, isn't getting the oxygen or nutrients it needs to stay healthy. That's where ginger comes in. It's not only a natural anti-inflammatory, it's a circulation booster. Better blood flow means better delivery of healing compounds to your joints. A study published in the journal Arthritis and Rheumatism found that adults with osteoarthritis who took ginger extract experienced a significant reduction in knee pain and improved function over 6 weeks. That's not just a statistic. That's the difference between walking with a wince and walking with ease. So how do you use it? Simple. Slice about a ½ inch piece of fresh ginger, steep it in hot water for 10 to 15 minutes, and add a bit of lemon and honey. Drink it warm 2 to 3 times a day, especially after meals for better digestion and absorption. Some folks like to add a dash of cinnamon or turmeric for even more anti-inflammatory power. One tip, skip powdered ginger tea bags if you can. They're often weaker and less effective. Go fresh, go strong. Now, a little story. My 82-year-old neighbor, Miss Dorothy, sips ginger tea every morning on her porch. She says it keeps her light on her feet, and after decades working retail, her knees have every reason to complain. But they don't. They're still dancing. So if your knees feel like they've forgotten how to move with grace, maybe all they need is a little warmth, a little spice, and a lot of love from a humble root that's been healing people for centuries. Let your day start with a little zing, and let your joints thank you for it. Let's pause here and really let this sink in. Your knees may feel older, stiffer, maybe even worn down. But the truth is, you still hold more power than you think. You don't need expensive treatments or endless medications to take the first step. Sometimes the most powerful changes are natural, gentle, and right in your kitchen. With just a few simple shifts right at home, you can begin to rebuild strength, soothe stiffness, and walk with more comfort and confidence. From the richness of bone broth to the anti-inflammatory power of berries and turmeric, from the gentle flow of ginger tea to the creamy goodness of avocados. These aren't just foods, they're tools. They're messages to your body saying, you still matter, your healing matters, your journey isn't over. So here's your gentle challenge. Pick just 2 of these 10 remedies, add them to your week, stick with them for 3 weeks. Watch what happens. You might be amazed, not just at how your knees feel, but how your mindset shifts too. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Which one are you excited to try first? Drop it in the comments. We read every single one and always reply. If this video gave you hope, strength, or even just one useful tip, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell so you never miss a health secret made just for you. Thank you for believing in your body. Thank you for showing up for your health. And thank you for being part of this growing, caring community. Take care and keep walking forward. I'm Dr. Benjamin Carter, and I'll see you in the next video. This video is for educational and informational purposes only. It does not replace medical advice. Please consult your healthcare provider before making changes to your diet, exercise, or supplement routine, especially if you have underlying health conditions.